Yes, us. Welcome to the Kefi Life Podcast. My name is Kiki Vale, and I'll be your guide to creating a life of Ola Kala, all is well. Together, we'll get back to the basics, and we'll explore fresh new ways to flourish in mind, body, and soul the Greek way. You can look forward to interviews, stories, essential self-care strategies, recipes, and actionable takeaway Ola Kala moments. This is going to be so much fun. Let's get going. Πάμε! Our Lexi for today is Fengári, or moon. The moon is quite symbolic of the way that I feel about life. Maybe it is for you too. The Fengári, or moon, has long represented positivity through its light, the bright light that shines through the darkness when the sun is retreated, giving our planet and all of us who live here new possibilities and new potential. Next time you glance at the Fengári, think of all you were born to do and then set out to do it. This season on the Kefi Life Podcast, we are thrilled to partner with Infuse Well Concierge, your trusted source for IV hydration, vitamin drips, aesthetics, and metabolic wellness. Olya, a registered nurse, works alongside a double board certified medical doctor and a team of medical professionals to create customized treatments that help you optimize longevity, restore balance, and bring your best self forward. Hydrate, energize, and glow from the inside out with vitamin drips. Whether you need a post-travel pick-me-up, an immunity boost, or a beauty refresh, Infuse Well Concierge delivers wellness with precision and luxury. Welcome one and all to this edition of Kefi Life, the podcast. Today, we have the great honor to visit with a celebrated Greek conductor, composer, educator, and she's talking to us from Athens, Greece. From the concert hall to the classroom, her work and passion for the classics inspire today, tomorrow, and always. Her contagious energy is something that inspires me, and I'm really excited to share our conversation about music, the Greek language, and well-being with all of you today. Χαίρετε and welcome, Eugenia, Manolidou.
Χαίρετε. Thank you so much. It's so nice to speak to you finally. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's really my pleasure. I know you're busy. You travel around the world. You have such a broad background in education and music and the ancient Greek language, and it's quite impressive. So what I'd love to do with your permission, Eugenia, is break this interview down into two segments. One, sharing your musical highlights and how it imparts wisdom with our mind, body, and soul, and our well-being. And I know there's a word for well-being. I want you to share it with us. And then the next episode will be about the ancient Greek school, Elleniki Agogi, which you direct.
Thank you. Yes, we'll do that.
Okay, perfect.
To get to your question about how can Greece combine, I think that it's a part of the Greek culture, combining the music, the theater, the pleasures that we feel, listening to music, watching a good performance. It's what clicks in our soul because, music has this power to bypass the words and it goes straight to the soul. We know that it regulates the heartbeat. We know that it calms the mind. It can spark joy. And in ancient Greece, music was literally a part of medicine. It was used to balance the body's humors and to restore harmony. So the ancient Greeks saw no separation between art and healing. And theater, for example, was also considered therapeutic. In Epidavros, I don't know if you've ever been to Epidavros.
I have, and I love it. It's beautiful. In Corinth.
We know Epidavros from the great theater, but that theater was a part of the Asklepion, the sanctuary of Asklepios, the god of medicine. So going to the theater was a part of the healing process, which did not only include the treatment by the doctors, by the therapeutes, the doctors of ancient Greece, but it was also attending plays. Drama, poetry, music were believed to soothe the soul. And to take it even further back in time, in Greek mythology, even Apollo, the god of music, he was also the god of healing. And he embodied that union, the idea that harmony in music creates harmony in the body and the mind. So today, science does confirm what the ancients already knew and spoke about. Music does deeply heal our soul.
In August here in America, Evgenia, is Health and Wellness Month. And, I think about the simple aspects of life that we can incorporate into our day to day, something as powerful, impactful, but simple as music. And I think I heard you speak, it was on YouTube, about instruments that are more soothing versus energizing. For example, you mentioned, I think, the harp and is it the piano? Did I say that right?
You must have heard a talk I gave for the doctors
Yes.
a few months ago that
Yes.
were very interested, oncologists, they were very interested on the different types of music in ancient Greece and how the music used to heal the soul and the body. So in ancient Greece, they did believe that there were some chords, instruments, but also special chords that would energize the soul or soothe the soul. So the doctors of that time actually prescribed music for each and every different illness. But there are, I mean, they used to say that, and it's pretty logic if you think about it, that wind instruments like a trumpet or the flute they're more energetic. The harp, the guitar, the ancient Greek guitar, but the harp as well were much more closer to the soul. And I mean, even if you put some music now and nowadays, if you listen to the harp or the guitar, you feel better. You feel calmer. Whereas if you hear a flute player or a trumpet player or even the timpani, or you feel more energetic. The vibe is completely different. I mean, that these people already knew thousands of years ago. This is what amazes me all the time.
Oh, yeah, it's so amazing and sensational that, the brilliance of music can really penetrate, as you say, our soul and our heart and make us feel a certain way, and truly we know this, Evgenia, I think you may agree, that our thoughts and our feelings manifest into our body.
Absolutely.
So it's really, really important to start with the I'm gonna use a word and try to impress you, the new.
Of course.
Is that the intellect or the brain?
Yes, onus is the brain, but also the thought itself. We have a conversation with Plato and Aristotle. Aristotle was a student of Plato, and Aristotle was always interrupting Plato in class. So he was always asking questions, always debating, always arguing. And Plato was, he didn't like that very much. But we know that when Aristotle was not in the classroom, Plato used to say, nous is not in the classroom, so we better not have a class. Where is nous? Where is the brain? Where is the mind? Where is the thought? And this is something that we lack today, critical thinking. With all this emergence of artificial intelligence, people don't think anymore. Everything is easy and everything is fast, but neither thought is easy and fast, nor music or any kind of art. If you really want to go into the art, you need to be patient, you need to study, you need to be disciplined. We tend to lose these virtues. I'm really very skeptical about what's going to happen in the future.
I feel the same way, especially because of what you said about critical thinking. And with the younger generation, it's just so easy to go and get an answer, type something in. But where is our education within ourselves, which truly that's how we develop? We develop through that grind and process that you just described, which I believe I read that you began piano lessons at 5 years old. Is that true?
When I was 5 years old.
And I'd love to hear about your musical journey. Let's give the audience kind of like a scope of what you've done with language. I know you were at Juilliard, but I listened to a song this morning to get myself in the spirit of Eugenia and Manolidou, and that is "Hymn to the Moon."
Okay.
And it was really beautiful. You wrote that song.
I wrote. It's actually a piece of instrumental music. It's not a song. It was actually one of my very first records that came out many years ago. Hymn to the Moon was written in one night of full moon, and I was in Greece, and I saw the you know how the moon shivers on the sea, and it does this little sparkles at night. um,
Yes.
if your listeners have ever been to Greece or any place, but especially in Greece, where the beams of the moon are on the sea, and it makes this silver sparkles. So, and if you listen to the piece, it's it's shivering all through from the beginning to the end. Now, the moon, Greeks impersonated everything, and they had deified moon. The goddess was Selene. Okay, so it was for me. I wanted this piece to feel luminous with orchestral textures that would mirror that quiet beauty of the moonlight.
Oh, and it does. I really recommend that people go on YouTube and find it. It's Evgenia Manolidou, "Hymn to the Moon." It's just beautiful.
Mm.
And you play the piano.
Yep.
And I was interested to know, as a conductor or a composer, like all those elements of patience, the disciplines of learning all the notes. What does it even take to do all those things? I can't even. I used to play the clarinet in middle school. I chose the clarinet because my mother and father are Greek. I'm Greek, but I just love the way the clarinet sounds. For me, like I love how you can play certain energetic songs on the clarinet that make you feel happy and joyful.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But how, as in what you do, how does it all come together? How many years have you studied? Tell us about your background.
Well, I started playing the piano when I was 5 years old. I went to the conservatory. I studied many years with a Russian pianist, my teacher, and she was the one that convinced me that I should become a musician. My family didn't want me to become a musician. As you know, most families do not want their kids to go into art unless they are also artists. But my parents were not artists. So they discouraged me when I said I wanted to study music. They discouraged me. But my teacher, my piano teacher, used to tell me, you can do this. You can study music. And then when I got accepted at Juilliard, then they gave up. So I went to the States, and I studied composition and conducting. My main profession is composition. But while being a composer and studying composition, I had the amazing luck of meeting Vincent La Selva, one of Juilliard's great conductors, professor, teachers of orchestral conducting. And he was the one that told me. I took conducting because I wanted to be able to communicate with the conductors that would conduct my music on stage. So I felt I needed to learn a little bit more about what conductors do and how they perceive the musical score, so that I would help them interpret my music better, because it was new music. It wasn't like a symphonic piece by Mozart or Beethoven, which all orchestras practically can play without a conductor. I mean, professional orchestras just go there and hit it. But with new music, with new young composers, this is very hard. So I started my conducting classes with Vincent La Selva. Back, I was 22 years old. He said, "You should go on stage. You can do this." So I must have been one of the youngest female conductors ever on stage.
Wow.
I conducted my first concert in Vienna when I was 25 years old at the
Whoa.
Musikverein, which is the Viennese concert hall, the big famous Viennese concert hall. So I was 25 years old, and I was conducting a very big symphony orchestra. So for me, it was an amazing moment, being able to help musicians and help the orchestra interpret my music, because young composers, young conductors don't get a lot of rehearsals. You just have 4 or 5 days of rehearsals and you just
Wow.
go in. So for such a big concert, for me it was just a little bit of 3 4 days with the orchestras. But this is when I realized that this is what I really wanted to do, being a part of music. And this is where you need to learn the capabilities of all the instruments in an orchestra. Because when you compose for a symphony orchestra, and I write my own scores, I don't have someone writing my scores for me, because there are some composers that play the piano, write the piano part, and then they give it away to an orchestrator and orchestrates the whole score. But I would do everything. So I had to learn all the instruments that I wanted to write about, to write for. So I learned the flute, the clarinet, the bassoon, the strings, of course, violin, viola, cello, double bass, and then brass, horn, trumpets, trombones, tubas, percussion, everything. You have to know everything.
That's
And
quite a talent. You have quite a talent there. What would you say, uh, considering you were a conductor at 25, that's very young. Do you find that you attribute that to just a gift that you have and you develop that gift, or is it a passion for the music? Or because that's young, it's very impressive.
thank you. Thank you. Well, one thing led to another. It was much different. And when you're in the States, everything is possible. So,
Facts. It's true. It's very true. And you said something that is important, and I want to impart that on my listeners because they really turn to the podcast for enthusiasm and energy and encouragement. And we have to follow our bright star, that shining light within us, because we've been given a gift, each of us.
yes, we all have a star. We all have a bright star. So we need I mean, everybody needs to know that no matter what you do in your life, no matter, what happens in your life or how hard your life is, there is a star. Maybe it's hidden behind the clouds, but it's there. So you need to find it and you need to follow it no matter what, because it's very rewarding at the end. It takes time and it takes patience. And sometimes it's very painful, but it's always rewarding.
I saw when we were in Italy, we went to Sicily, my husband and my children and I, we went for a wedding in Taormina. And I was really crazy about the ancient theater in Taormina. And
Yes.
just by chance, Evgenia, we didn't have this plan because we had all the wedding festivities of our friend Katerina Svigos. But just by chance, we found out that a musician, a violin player, David Garrett, I don't know if you've heard of him, he's German,
Mhm.
and he was performing. And it sort of changed my mindset on the discipline of focusing hours and hours and hours on something you're passionate about, but really dedicating that time to that one specific thing that you're so in love with. I think it's so important. You should look him up. David Garrett I love him. He's a
I think
violin player.
I know him. I think I know him. I think I've seen
Yeah,
him.
he reminds me a lot of you with the passion and the talent and the skill. Well, we're winding down now. I'd love for you to wrap up, or we could wrap up before we begin our next episode on the school and the ancient Greek language. Let's just talk a little bit quickly, summarize the power of music, which you pretty much described in the beginning,
Mhm.
but the power of how music can help us heal, and anything that you have to say that you've learned on your musical journey in the past.
Well, it's not only music, it's the arts in general, theater, drawing, um, doing something that you love, usually combined with art, singing, dancing. It's all therapeutic. It all speaks to the soul. And this is what's really, really ancient. Drama is very ancient. Dancing is very ancient. The music, I mean, the music is the first thing we are born and our mom sings to us. So this is a very primitive thing. I am sure that in the caves, children were born and moms were just trying to soothe the babies, were singing something. So it's like an instinct. What I want to tell to the parents, no matter what their kids do in their lives, just teach them an instrument, have them sing, have them dance, have them learn. It's not only the healing of the soul, it's the growing of the inner part of ourselves. It's learning to work. It's the discipline that they will need in their lives. And it is something that they will always go back to.
That's fantastic. I have one final question. I ask all my special guests this question, and Eugenia, Manolidou, you can take your time. The question is, Eugenia, in my life, I've learned that.
Okay. In my life, I've learned that anyone can do anything that we set our minds to. But it's never easy and it's never fast. But, I'm really grateful for that.
You have been such a delight. Thank you. What an honor to speak with Eugenia Manolidou, direct from Athens, Greece. And friends, if you haven't been to Athens, Greece, put it on your bucket list. There is so much to do and see, and you'll especially have to go and visit the Epidavros that Eugenia referenced, and also the baths that are located right by the theater. It's just magical, and it's a part of life and history. The Buzz for Longevity Paths to Renewal series continues January 15th with the power of positive affirmations. Happy New Year, and as always, I'm sending you Filakia kisses. Eleolado, olive oil, has been celebrated in the civilized world for millennia. Nearly eternal, the oil of this fruit has been more than just food to the cultures of the Mediterranean region. It's been medicinal, ceremonial, sacramental, and the foundation of great wealth and power. It is safe to say that olive oil is the ethos, the essence of Greek culinary culture. Today, the priceless and life-giving ingredients of this liquid gold can be delivered to you when you purchase your premium bottle of Kefi Life Extra Virgin Olive Oil from the region my parents were born, the Peloponnese. The coveted Koroneiki olive is extensively cultivated here in the southern part of Greece, which offers the unique microclimate needed to grow a fruit netting the utmost nutrient value for extra virgin olive oil. Kefi Life Extra Virgin Olive Oil, a boundless amount of value, high in antioxidants with anti-inflammatory properties, linked to good mood and improved mental health. Get your bottle of wellness today when you visit KefiLife.com. Yamas! Today I'd like to personally invite you to sign up for my Tuesday newsletter. Why? Because here I will directly communicate with you, sharing additional wellness content and promotions that our team has created for you in mind. I promise not to overload you, only further inspire you. Visit KefiLife.com today, sign up for the Tuesday newsletter, bringing you one step closer to Ola Kala, all is well.
Kiki Vale is the founder of Kefi Life. She is passionate about whole person wellness and living a fulfilled life. Her Kefi Life podcast is created to simply and naturally help you harmonize the mind, body, and soul the Greek way. Visit KefiLife.com and check out Kiki Vale on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Join us again next time for more positive energy and inspiration on Kefi Life.